Yes, good afternoon to everybody. Welcome to the interpretation of the statute. As per our instruction, today is the last day for this class, but later on that we'll see because everything will be recorded over here. That's why. Okay, now you read that what I posted on the screen. Hurry up.
नमस्कार, शुभोदय, सुप्रभात,
Yes.
सुप्रभातम, गुड मॉर्निंग. ओयो गोजामा मासु, गोजामासु,
Ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo
गोजामासु.
gozaimasu. Gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu. This is the good morning salutation in Japan language. This is Japan language. Ohaya gozamo, and the good morning as usually is the international language, and the Suprabhatam, this is the Malayalam, and Shubhodaya is a Karnataka, and Namaskar is nothing but in Andhra Pradesh as well as Telugu speaking places. So these are the various salutations would be there. Okay, let me share this one also to you. This can anybody will tell you this? What is this? Yes.
Sunset.
Sunset. Yes, good. I appreciate. In addition to the sunset, there is something written over there. This is called Lake Victoria is an African gem that the border in the Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. This is the second largest lake in freshwater lake in the world. The first one is Lake Superior, which is there in USA, the freshwater lake, and they say largest and biggest. Is there any difference?
Sir, largest is the saying the quantity of liquidity.
Biggest?
Biggest is in size.
Anyone? Can you give me an example?
Length also will
Appreciate. Largest in the sense
come in
length, biggest in the sense size. So that is the largest animal. What is the largest animal?
Giraffe, sir.
What is the biggest animal?
Giraffe, sir.
Okay.
Elephant, sir.
Yes, I appreciate.
Elephant, sir.
I appreciate. There is a clapping will be there. That means the right answer. Largest reptile.
Crocodile nowadays.
Largest reptile.
Dolphin.
King cobra.
Yes, anyone? Yes. Largest reptile.
Python, sir.
This is the largest reptile. That is nothing but python. It is commonly known as a pythons. And the biggest reptile is anaconda. Python. If you say python and pylon, both are different. This is called, what do you call this one?
Tower.
This is a pylon. It is not a, don't say electric pole or tower. It is a high tension wires carrying over there. It's a pylon, 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 a modern construction, any tower that gives a support, such as the steel towers between the which electrical wires are high tension electric wires are strung. The piers of the bridge, the columns of our woods, girders are hanging certain types of structural work. These are pylons. So because python is different from pylon, largest is different from the biggest. That's why that I would like to share that thing. Now let us come to the principal legislation and subordinate legislation. And what is the principal legislation? Anyone can give.
Sir, one thing, sir. Please,
Yes,
one thing.
Please.
Pylon is constructed with stones and cement. It is the memory of a particular thing.
No, that is called edifice, or that is called statue, or that is called a monument. That is called in commemoration of the something would be there. That is not pylon. Pylon. Pylon means is nothing but high tension electric wire carrying from one state to another state, from one place to another place, where it will be there. The three high tension wires in the lower bottom, the two and the upper bottom would be there, and these are called pylons. We don't say it is a pole. Pole is only the things which you could see in the streets. Yes, let us come to the point. I mean, the principal legislation or subordinate legislation. Can anybody will throw light? What is the principal legislation? Anyone? Say pass on. Don't waste the time. Yes. You are
Principal
wasting the
means
time.
main,
Example.
like one of our Indian Constitution, fundamental rights.
So fundamental right is a legislation.
Constitution showing major part, the fundamental rights, directive or principles are called subordinate.
Mhm. See, in the principal legislation, there is a rights are there, duties are there. It is between the individual to the individual, and such a thing would be there, and which is enacted with the parliament. And the main things are the state. They are said to be the principal legislation. Subordinate legislations are a GOMS number, rules and regulations generally, which is given to the executive. Whether I can see, which is given to the executive is called the subordinate legislation, like a delegated legislation. Delegated legislation is subordinate legislation. It is not a principal legislation. A delegate cannot delegate to another person. Can you tell me it is the Latin terminology? A delegate cannot delegate to the other. Of course, I will tell you that in the way. So, what is the legislation? Legislation is the law-making body among all the sources of law. Legislation is one of the most patent and sovereign source of law-making. It has all the powers of enacting the laws and repealing the old laws. So, that is called a legislation. So, there are two types of the legislation. There is a number one is the supreme legislation. Number two, subordinate legislation. This is according to the Salmond. What is the supreme legislation? Supreme legislation is also known as the principal legislation in other countries, in which proceeds from the sovereign powers, that is nothing but the enactments. And those are the said to be the principal legislation. When you come to the subordinate legislation, it is nothing but in other countries it will be known as a delegated legislation. In some other countries, made by the authority other than the supreme authority in the state, in the exercise of the power delegated by the supreme authority, that is controlled by the supreme authority, thus legislative authority is dependent upon the continued existence and validity on the supreme authority. So it is said to be the delegation. So a delegate cannot delegate, is a delegate, delegatus, non-potest, delegare. See here I highlight to you. Read anyone? Which is highlighted? Unmute and read. Unmute and read what I highlighted over there on the screen. I don't know whether you are present or whether you disappeared. Okay, let me read this. Delegate as non-potested delegare. That means a delegate cannot further delegate is. What is the advantage of the legislation? Can anyone, without looking it, can you tell me what is the advantage of the legislation? Sir, we don't know. Yes? Are you hearing me? At least tell me, are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Then why you are keeping quiet? If you don't know, what you are supposed to say? Yes? లాభం లేదు నేనే చెప్పేదండి పాస్ ఆన్ ఓకే అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఆఫ్ ది legislation is the best and most reliable source of law. Number one. Number two, statutory law is rigid and applicable irrespective of the crime. Number three, the modern states give more importance to the legislation. Number four, legislation makes a new law to the society. And the number five, which is lost, by legislation social control is possible. So that is the advantage. Regarding the disadvantage are there, the three. The certain legislation abide the rights of the individuals and are referred to the judicial review. Some of the things where the rights are condensed over there, comprehended over there, at the time it is the judges who will make the judicial activism or they will make it the judicial review. it results the amendment to the constitution leads to a conflict between the legislature and judiciary. Always there will be a conflict will be there because enactments would be made with the parliament. Sometimes it will not suitable to the society. At that instance, it is the court will interpret it and say that it is null and void because it contravention with the constitution. Number one, number two, it will not have an effect over there because some of the rights are violated or either enumerated in the constitution or in any other statute. No scope for the judicial discretion. No? Of course, when the legislation is there, there is no scope for that. If everything will be codified, at that instance, the common law will be in the rare use. But everything cannot be codified because generally that will say a common law will not die. A common law will not extinguish. If he die also, a common law will rule from the grave. Common law rule from the, yes, anyone? Please unmute and read. Say what I said so that I could know that I am not giving lecture to the wall. I am giving the lecture to the highly learned people, students over there. Yes? Repeat. Common law will, suppose it will not die. In case if it dies also, it will rule from the, what? Common law rule from the grave. Repeat. సార్కి మేము రిపీట్ చేయము, మేము చెప్పము, మేము ఏం చేయము. మీరు చెప్పేది చెప్పండి, లేకుంటే లేదు. Okay, let me see. Rigidity is there if it is a legislation, and lack of clarity would be there in the legislations. Sometimes because the clarity will be given by the interpretation by the judges. These are the things would be there. Today I don't know why you are so much silent, because if the silent would be there, I cannot proceed because I don't know whether you are hearing me or not, because that conversion should be there and the confirmation should be there. That's the point. That's why sometimes I will touch it and will ask you. Okay, can you tell me that at least anyone can unmute and read? Anyone can unmute and read what I posted on the screen?
Difference between legislation and subordinate legislation. Supreme legislation and subordination legislation.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Number one, supreme legislation, subordinated legislation. Supreme legislation is that which proceeds from sovereign power in the state. Subordinate legislation is that which proceeds from any authority other than sovereign.
Yes, sovereign power. Okay, next.
Judicial precedents are an important source of law. They have enjoyed high authority in all time and in all countries.
Which one? Which one?
Down, sir.
The supreme legislation is that which proceeds from the sovereign powers in the state, and the second one is it is dependent for its continued existence, validity, and the some superior authority is the subordinate legislation. So judicial precedents are an important source of law, and they have enjoyed the high authority in all the times in all countries. What is meant by judicial precedents? Yes. తెలుస్తేనేమో చెప్పండి, తెలియకపోతే పాస్ అన్నానండి సార్, మీ దండం పెడతా. I told you, if you know it, you can give me the answer. If you don't need, just say pass on. Sir, మేము అనం సార్, because we are feeling shame. సార్ ఊరికే నేనంటన్నా సార్, ఇప్పటివరకు 5 సార్లు అన్నా సార్, ఇప్పటివరకు క్లాస్ లో 5 సార్లు అన్నా సార్, ఇక అన్నాను సార్, మిగతా వాళ్ళు అన్నానండి, లేకుండా నా, because my voice will be recorded over there, I don't know anything. Okay, judicial precedents are means is nothing but judgment law. Number one, and of course, if it is any decided by the even the legislation also, which is already there, then it became a judicial precedent because the same facts are there. Then we can take the what is the result in that particular case, directly we can take it there, and that is a judicial precedent, which is a persuasive value, like a res judicata. Suppose the same facts and same thing would be given over there, judgment is given, at the time we can say res judicata. Means the thing already decided over there, we need not to go again to save the time, save the money. So now the conflict between the parent legislation and subordinate legislation, if the conflict come over there, then who will prevail? That is the question. Suppose if the conflict would be there in the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law, and who will prevail? Yes. క్వశ్చన్ అర్థమైందా అండి? సార్ మేము చెప్పాం సార్, మీరు చెప్పుకుంటా పోండి. Where the parent legislation means if the parent legislation naturally the superior legislation, when the superior legislation would be there, naturally that the subordinate legislation should have to hear the superior legislation. So when such a conflict would be there, then naturally the supreme, the primary legislation or supreme legislation will prevail over there regarding the subordinate legislation or the delegated legislation. For example, Consumer Protection Act is the parent act of the Consumer Protection Rules, which was passed by the Parliament subsequent to the passing of the Parent Act. The provision of the framing of these rules are provided in the Parent Act itself, and the subordinate legislation cannot be derogation of the Parent Act, because rules are framed from the Parent Act only. So when the Parent Act would be framed over there, naturally, when there is a conflict would be there, it would be the Parent Act will prevail, but not the subordinate legislation or the rules and regulation which is derived from it. Some rules are there, no? Here say that some rules are there which is already given in the act itself, they will frame it. Consider the constitution to be the parent act, and the central and all central and state legislation to be subordinate legislation to this parent act. So that's why, what is the another name for the constitution? Sir, Constitution of India. Yes, anyone can unmute and give me. కనీసం చెప్పండి, పాస్ ఆన్ అన్న చెప్పండి ప్లీజ్. Yes, what is another name for the constitution? తెలియదన్న చెప్పండి, పాస్ ఆన్ అన్న చెప్పండి, మొత్తానికి అది చెప్పండి.
Combined rules of administration.
Constitution, another name is Grannam. Grannam. So Grannam means parent act. If any legislation which are in contrary to the Grandam, that is the constitution, that is in India, and the constitution of India, either the central legislation or the state legislation or the rules or the regulations, they are null and void. Who says? Yes? Who says? Sir, my professor says. It will be decided by the Sir, Municipal Magistrate Court. Yes? ఇక నేనే చెప్తానులేండి. It is decided by the apex court of the state or apex court of the country. So that is the thing would be there. ఎందుకంటే మీకు అలవాటు లేదండి వేరే క్లాసులల్లో ఇట్లా అడగడం, పార్టిసిపేట్ చేయడం, పార్టిసిపేటరీ క్లాస్. దట్ ఇస్ దే ఆర్ కీపింగ్ క్వైట్. Anyway, let us be, because my style of teaching is different, because if I teach it, I will see that the students are with me, I am with the students. That is my intention. Now, all such subordinate legislations are provided with the constitution itself. None of this legislation can be derogation of the parent act. Suppose if anything would be there, constitution gives the powers over there to anybody to make the rules and regulations at that instance. You should not be in contravention with the parent act. That is the only the thing. Or the substantial ultra vires or procedural act. If anything is ultra vires would be there, that at that instance, then definitely it will be a person would be liable even though he is an officer, because within not in his power he did the work. Ultra vires and intra vires he was studied in the administrative law. Let us see one of the case law. Raja Buland Sugar Company versus Rampur Municipality. This is the case law, where the UP Municipality Act 1916 provided that the draft rules must be published in the local Hindi daily. What act says? UP Municipality Act says. What it says? It says that the draft rules should be published in a local Hindi daily. Why not? It is local Telugu daily, sir? Why do you say the Hindi daily? Anyone? Tell me immediately. Don't kill the time. Pass on aనండి. నేనే చెప్తా. I will give you the answer, please. Hurry up. ఇక లాభం లేదు. భక్తులందరూ ఉన్నారా అండి లేకుండా నిద్రపోయారా? సార్ మేము ఆన్ చేసి అన్నం దానికి పోయినాం సార్. హిందీ డైలీ ఎందుకు అన్నారంటే యూపీలో హిందీ మాట్లాడతారండి.
నో సార్.
లోకల్ హిందీ డైలీ కనీసం మీరు ఉన్నట్టు నాకు తెలియాలంటే ఏం చేయాలండి? మీరు అప్పుడప్పుడు మాట్లాడుతూ ఉండాలి. అంటే ఏది నేను అడిగినప్పుడు మాట్లాడాలి. When I ask the question at the time that you have to tell, but not your personal time. So he published in the Hindi daily. Who says the Municipality Act says? The draft rules are published in the local Urdu daily. Instead of saying Hindi daily, they published in the Urdu daily. The court held that was mandatory for the publication of the draft rules in a newspaper publication. In a Hindi daily was only a directory. So actually, because most of the people, those who read in the UP is Hindi. Of course, some of the people in certain areas they read only the Urdu newspaper. Hence, the draft rules say that it should be published in the local newspaper. That means the local newspaper, if there is a Hindi it will be published. If the local newspaper is a Urdu, it can be published in the Urdu. So it doesn't make any difference over there. And hence, even the UP Municipality Act, which is made that it should be published in the Hindi, would not be taken into consideration. If it is published in the Urdu also, it will be accepted. Consequently, the court held that the rules could not be held to be ultra virus. Enabling Act, merely because they were published in Urdu daily instead of Hindi daily, and the publication was made in substantial compliance with the manner provided in the Act. So at that instance, if they deviate also, it will not be a rule, and because overall the thing is that it should be brought to the notice of the public of the local newspaper. It should be published. So both the local newspaper are there, Hindi and Urdu. So it is no deviation. If you see the central act would be there, they say that it will be published in the local newspaper. So local newspaper also Urdu daily. That is the decided over there. Let us seek the another case law where it is not a ultra virus. If we made, let us see the another case law, the Indian Council of Legal Aid and Advice versus Bar Council of India. I repeat, can anyone read? Can anyone read? సార్ మేము చదవము, మీరు ఎన్నిసార్లు అన్న చెప్పండి, మేము గమ్మున ఉంటాం, మీరే చదువుతారు.
The Indian Council of Legal Aid and Advice versus Bar Council of India. The Supreme Court held that a rule made by BCI barring qualified person above the age of 45 years from enrollment as advocates as ultra virus a suit fell outside the power of BCI conferred by the Advocates Act 1961 section 49 clause 1.
వెంకటేశ్వర గారు, if you are not eligible to study law if you don't know this case law.
Yeah.
Because you cannot keep a restriction for a certain thing. The reason is everybody should have to know the law of the land. Sir, mali medicine ki enduku pettindu sir?
Above age of 45, sir.
Yes. Medicine ki enduku pettindru? Age limit. సార్ అదంతా తర్వాత సంగతి సార్, తర్వాత మాట్లాడదాం. ముందుగా ఇది కంప్లీట్ చేద్దాం. ఒక another India, Chintaman Rao versus State of Madhya Pradesh. This is another case law where the section 3 and 4 of the Central Province and Bearer Regulation of the Manufacture and Medici Act 1948 grants the power to Deputy Commissioner to fix a period of agricultural season with respect to a certain village where the act applies. ఈ డిప్యూటీ కమిషనర్ ఏం చేసిందంటే, అగ్రికల్చర్ సీజన్ అప్పుడు మీరు అగ్రికల్చర్ రావాలి, వీడిలు చేసుకుంటా ఇంటికాడ కూర్చోవద్దు. In the season when the harvesting would be there, at that instant, the people, those who are staying, are living inhabitants of the particular village, they should not supposed to go to for the manufacturing the BDs in their house or in the factory. They have to go to the fields for the daily wage workers. Can you put such a condition? Yes. చెప్పండి సార్, మాట్లాడాలండి, లేకుండా మీరు మాట్లాడకుండా నేను ముందుకు పోలేనండి. ఇక లావలేదు, ఇక చెప్పిందే చెప్పుడైతుంది, ఎందుకంటే అలవాట్లేదు కదా మీకు పార్టిసిపేట్ చేయడానికి. So municipal commission order is ultra virus because one cannot restrict it whether to do the BDs or to go to for the harvest. So it is their choice. If they want, they can go to the manufacturing the BDs, or by staying in the home, work from home, manufacturing the BDs, or they go to the fields for weeding out or planting the for the plantation or the irrigation purposes, or sprinkling the water, or sprinkling the urea, or cutting the harvest. Any one of it. Nobody could make it any such a thing. It is the ultra virus act would be there. Let us see the last case law. Air India versus Nargis. Air India versus Nargis Mirza. It is a landmark case in the Supreme Court of India. Struck down the service regulation in which it was stated to the air hostess would be terminated after their first pregnancy. ఎయిర్ హోస్టెస్ పెళ్లి చేసుకోవద్దు, ఆర్ ఎయిర్ హోస్టెస్ ఫస్ట్ ప్రెగ్నెన్సీ తర్వాత నాట్ ఎలిజిబుల్. ఇంతకుముందు ఎయిర్ హోస్టెస్ కు వర్జిన్ టెస్ట్ కూడా ఉండే, కాబట్టి అది ఇల్లీగల్ అన్నారు. సో ఆల్ దోస్ థింగ్స్ విచ్ ఆర్ సబార్డినేట్ లెజిస్లేషన్ which will conflict with the supreme legislation at that instance, subordinate legislation will null and void. So, sir, air hostess, sir, 50 years women can be eligible for the air hostess? Yes. సార్ మేమైతే సమాధానం చెప్పాము, మీరు చెప్తే చెప్పండి, లేకుంటే లేదు, మేము గమ్మున ఉంటాము. Because there are rules and regulations are there, because they will keep the air hostess generally should be young, they will want to prefer over there. They will not make it the 50 years old women or the married
వాయిస్
women.
బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది సార్.
ఓకే ఓకే, కనీసం అట్లన్నా చెప్పండి, కనీసం అట్లన్నా చెప్పండి, ఎట్లీస్ట్ నాకు తెలుస్తుంది, లేకుంటే చాట్ అన్నా చేయండి.
Sir, your voice is cutting, sir.
Yes, yes, because when the frequency is less, it will be break the voice. If the frequency is more, it will not break the voice.
Hello.
It depends upon the frequency of my
Once
internet.
again, this
It depends upon the frequency of the
again this
frequency. The yes, it is for everyone. It is oh, it is not making. Class started, friends. IPS professor HR. Yes, okay, that is an indication. Yeah, now what about that now? In the Air India versus Nargis Mirza case law, they said that a woman who is pregnant, after pregnancy, she will not be eligible to continue it. The bylaws says. The bylaws is a contravention with the original case law, hence it will not be void, null and void. So these are the cases. Now, can you read this thing? Anyone can read? Now you read it. I could hear your voice. You read it, I could hear your voice. Participants, you read it, I would like to hear your voice. Yes, now your voice is breaking. Yes, now your voice is breaking.
sir,
Yes. Who is, your voice is breaking, no doubt, because here the point is
network.
who attains the age of 60 years are an administrative ministerial employee of the university shall retire superannuation when they attain the age of 55 years. So it is the violation of the equality before the law दरवाजा लगा बोला ना जी मैं कई बार. It is the equality before land. And here it is given the petitioner contended that all the employees of the university were drawn from the same source, fixing. So superannuation, if once it is over there, then he should be supposed to be retired. So if you read the Sri S. Rama Rao and others versus Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University AR 1978 AP 264, that clearly says over there who will be retired. What is the retirement age? So retirement age depends upon the class of workers. Suppose what is the retirement age of the Supreme Court judges? Anyone? Sir, Magdaliadu.
65.
Yes, 65 is there. What about the High Court judges?
65.
High Court judges. సరిగా అయిపోయింది guys. 62 or 65 అయిపోయింది. What about the state government employees? 58 sir. Okay, now they are increased it to 60. Okay, whether increase there is no matter. So that is about the conflict between the primary legislation and the secondary legislation. Now we will see the okay పర్వాలే అయిపోయింది అది. Okay, now let us see the what is a procedure law and what is a substantial law. Anyone can give participate on it. Yes, speak on this issue. Speak on this issue. Sir, what is the issue? What is the procedure law? Can anyone give the unmute and give the answer? మీరు చెప్పినంత వరకు I cannot proceed now. Anyone can unmute and give me the answer. What did you understand by procedure law? This will be taught to you in the first year. Sir, మేము క్లాస్ పోతే కదా సార్ మేము. But I gave you, I posted you to read the procedure law, then come to the class, and let the class would be the participatory class. I told you. Anyone can unmute and read. I cannot. Yes. మీరు చెప్పేంత వరకు నేను I don't speak. Unless you speak, then only I speak.
Legislative acts are procedural laws, sir, and implementation by the executive with GOs or any other are substantive laws.
మీరు దానికి పెట్టిన దీనికి పెట్టేస్తారు.
Substantive law is laws that prohibit and personalize murder, rape, robbery, and other crimes, sir. Procedure law is laws that are concerned with the due process of law, sir.
Very good, I appreciate. The substantive law will give the rights of the individuals and right between the state and the person to the individuals, individual to the state, and where they can make it out, there would be a, if the violation would be there, there would be a punishment is imposed over there, and when one can go to the court of law, and that is said to be the substantive law. Procedure law is that how the substantive law can be implemented or applied in the court is the procedure law. Yes, now, when I ask a particular person to give me the answer for this question which I am going to pose now, let me check it. Oh. So now, sir, question అడిగితే సార్ మేము రాము సార్. ఎందుకంటే సార్ మాకు హ్యూమిలియేషన్ అవుతుంది సార్. If you feel that humiliation in your life, you will not succeed. So that is, please keep in the mind this thing. Yes, Bandari Shushma, can you give me the example for the substantial? Bandari Shushma, unmute and give me the answer. Sir, నాకు తెలియదు how to unmute it, how to mute it, and hence I could not give the answer for that your question, but I can chat it. Sir, when I don't know the how to mute it and mute it, then how could you expect that I could chat? Now you can give me the answer, anyone. Anyone can give me the answer to me. Example for the substantial law.
Criminal law.
Criminal law
Domestic
ఉంటదా
Violence
అండి?
Act.
క్రిమినల్ లా
Indian
అనేది ఉన్నదా
Penal Code Act.
సబ్జెక్ట్? నౌ యూ టెల్ మీ క్రిమినల్ లా సబ్జెక్ట్ ఉన్నదా అండి మీకు? సే ఇండియన్ పీనల్
No,
కోడ్
sir.
ఆర్ యూ కెన్ సే ద కోడ్ ఆఫ్ క్రిమినల్ ప్రొసీజర్ కోడ్.
Sir, the substantive law के example the Indian Penal Code 1860 sir, Domestic Violence Act 2005 sir.
Any law that is the law of contract, the contract law, then we can say the if anything would be there, administrative law, whatever the things would be there, and the constitutional law, what are the things should be there, and the act relating to this one, maternity benefit act, Hindu succession act, Hindu adoption and the guardian and Hindu ward act. So these are all acts are said to be the substantial laws. Then what are the procedure laws? Yes. What are the procedure laws? Anyone? Gauda Tirupati, unmute and give me the answer. Gauda Tirupati.
Indian Evidence Act sir. Sir, Indian Evidence Act sir.
See, that is the adjunctive law because it is having the substantive part, it is having the procedural part, hence a separate name is given. Civil procedure code, criminal procedure code, law of limitation, and a part of the law of evidence also comes over there. In the criminal procedure code, the part is substantial law, the first part, the other parts are the procedure law. But overall, we will say that CPC and CRPC, law of limitation and law of evidence are said to be the procedure laws. Yeah, that is the answer for that one. So other people are not giving, only few people are speaking, only 3 members are speaking as far my knowledge goes over there. Okay, the question whether an individual is competent to enter into a contract is dealt under the substantial law. Whereas the question of time within which one party may sue another is dealt under the procedure law. So that is the one way of making. And we have a case law also here, which gives the distinction between the substantial law and the procedure law. The case law is Commission of the Wealth Tax, Meerut versus Shravan Kumar Swaroop and Sons. The distinction between the substantial law and the procedure law was made clear as a general rule. The laws with the fixed duties and established rights and responsibilities. Whatever the law which, or act which fixes the duties and rights and responsibilities and what are the remedies would be available over there for persons, natural or otherwise, are substantial laws, while those which merely prescribe the manner in which such rights and responsibilities may be exercised and enforced in a court are procedure laws. So that is the best example which is given over there, and there are other examples, but I made a table. You can find it in any website. If you just type in the any Google search engine or any other search engine, write the distinction between the substantive and the procedure law, you will get the table like the serial number and the definitions and the powers, context, and governs and applications and regulation. These are all the things which comes which will make the distinction between the substantial laws and procedure laws. Yes. Still, we do have at least roughly 20 minutes in our hand. So meanwhile that we could deal in detail the things which I want. So when you see the definition, can anyone can read by unmuting their microphone the first definition?
It establishes rights, obligations, and duties of individuals, with other individuals or individuals with the state.
Okay. Next.
Procedure law. Procedure law. It lays down the means and method through which substantive law is
అది
enforced. Sorry.
ఇప్పుడు ఏదైనా
Powers.
ఓకే గో హెడ్
Powers. It has independent powers to decide the fate of each case.
గుడ్
It does not, in procedure law, it does not have any independent powers to decide the fate of each case.
గుడ్
Context,
కాంటెక్స్ట్
substantive law. It cannot be applied in non-legal context. In substantive law, it governs the stages in which a civil proceedings and proceeds.
యు క్రాస్డ్ ఇట్
Application.
Yeah. It can be applied in both the legal and the non-legal context. When the governs are concerned, it governs the rights and duties of the individuals, but the procedural law, it governs the stages in a civil proceedings only proceeds. In application, it does not exclusively deal with the proceedings inside a court, but in the procedural law, it deals with the happening of a court, how the court procedure would be continued over there, application is there, and the regulations, it is regulated act of the parliament to govern the implementation, but when you come to the procedure law, it is regulated by the statutory laws. So these are the set to be the comparison between the substantial law and the procedure laws. If the substantial law, the examples which are given over here is, yes, other people, I don't know why they are not unmute and read it. They are just spectators, they are not the speakers. Sir, they are the dumps. కనీసం అదన్నా చెప్పండి సార్, నేను మూగనన్నా చెప్పండి.
Indian Contract
Sir,
Act
I am reading, sir.
1872.
The Indian
కోరస్ వద్దు, అందరు అన్మ్యూట్ చేయాలి, అందరు మ్యూట్ చేయాలి, ఒకరే అన్మ్యూట్ చేయాలి. If you don't do no, I will get the resound. Yes, now you speak. Anyone, కోరస్ లో వద్దు, anyone. కాకపోతే
The
చెప్పిన
Indian Contract Act
అరే బాబు
1872.
చెప్పిన వాళ్ళే చెప్పద్దు.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I want to hear the new voice.
The Indian Contract Act
ఇది
1872.
కూడా విన్న వాయిస్, ఇది కూడా విన్న వాయిస్.
Yes, sir.
మ్యూట్ అందరు మ్యూట్ చేయండి, ఒక్కరు మాత్రమే అన్నోన్ వాయిస్ ఐ వుడ్ లైక్ టు హియర్ టుడే. అన్నోన్ అనద్దు, ఏ స్ట్రేంజ్ వాయిస్ అనాలా, ఏ న్యూ వాయిస్ అనాలా. సరే అన్నోన్ కూడా అనొచ్చు, ఎందుకంటే నోన్ వాయిస్ అంటే ఎప్పుడు మాట్లాడే వాయిస్ ను నోన్ వాయిస్ అంటారు, అన్నోన్ వాయిస్ అంటే ఎప్పుడు మాట్లాడిన వాయిస్ ను అన్నోన్ వాయిస్ అంటారు. సార్ ఇక్కడ అన్నోన్ వాయిస్ ఎప్పుడు మాట్లాడరు సార్, అసలు మేము మాట్లాడడం సార్, ఎందుకంటే సార్ దిస్ సిస్టమ్ ఇస్ నాట్ దేర్. ఎస్, ఏ న్యూ వాయిస్, ప్లీజ్ రీడ్.
The Indian Contract Act 1872, the Hindu Marriage Act 1955, the Hindu Succession Act 1956, Maternity Benefit Act 1961, the Transfer of Property Act 1882, the Factories Act 1948, Industrial Disputes Act 1947, the Law of Torts,
1950 law of torts. లా ఆఫ్ టార్ట్ కోడిఫైడ్ కాదు, అందుకోసమే ఇయర్ ఉండదు. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్.
Code of Civil Procedure 1908, the first part that deals with general principles of, sir, yeah, dialogue box.
నెక్స్ట్,
There are upper
నెగోషియబుల్ ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్ యాక్ట్ ఆఫ్ 1881.
Yes, sir. The Indian Penal Code 1860.
These are all are come under
Substantial.
very good. Now the procedure laws.
Code of Civil Procedure 1908, the second part that deals with orders with respect to civil proceedings. Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, Law of Evidence 1872, the Limitation Act 1963. Recently, the Delhi High Court held in the case NNR Global Logistics Shanghai Company Limited versus Argus Global Logistics Private Limited. 7. That the law of limitation is a procedural law rather than a substantive law.
In some other countries, they will consider the law of limitation as a substantive law, but the most of the countries they will consider the law of limitation is a procedural law. But India also they consider the mostly the law of limitation act is a procedural law. And when you are reading, you don't read NNR, you say WNR, Global Logistic, within parenthesis, Shanghai Company Limited versus Argus Global Logistic. You jumped logistic. You did not utter it. Argus Global Logistic Private Limited. Of course, that is 7 is a footnote there. You need not to read over there. That the law of limitation is a procedural law rather than a substantial law. So that is the way of the reading, and the interrelationships are there with the substantial law and the procedural law. Sometimes we will mix together because like law of evidence is some part is the substantial law and some part is the procedural law. In the same manner, some the code also there is first part is the substantial law, this other part is procedural law, and the procedural laws ensure the enforcement of the substantial law, because the substantial law will not be enforced without the procedural law. Both substantial and procedural laws will exist in a civil as well as the criminal laws. So that is the way of the thing. Pranam antamandi, Dandam antamandi. What is the Indian style of good morning? I already told you.
Shubhodayam, sir.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
By folding the two palms and close to the even to the thumbs and keeping it at the sternum, sternum, means it is between the two ribs and near to the adjacent to the heart, then you can make it out. That is the way of the things. Namaskaram without దండం పెట్టకుండా కూడా చెప్తారు. నమస్కారం సార్ ఆర్డర్ ఇస్తాడా లేకుంటే విష్ చేస్తాడా అండి? సో when you make the salutation, please, procedure should be there. In a manner it should be uttered. The way that you have to do it, that is called the procedure. ఎవరైనా నా క్లాస్ లో లేట్ వస్తే వాళ్ళు they have to bow and enter into the class. It doesn't mean that I will show the procedure in the first class only. You have to bow at the threshold, then you have to come it whether I looking at you or not. But you are not supposed to knock the door and you will ask the question, sir, may I come in? No, that is not the procedure to make it out. A prudent man will say that he bow at the door, then without making any sound, then enter into the class. Preferably, the people should not enter from the front door, the people should enter from the back door. And if the back door is there, if not, there is a possibility of the things are there. Of course, now it is automatically it is going to be closed after the 2 or 3 minutes. Then we can make it out. Yes, so that is the procedure. So a person who comes to the late is said to be the bow is a substantial law, and how to bow, where to bow, how much to bow is the different way. Bow అంటే ప్రాస్ట్రేట్ చేసినట్టు కాదు, సాష్టాంగ నమస్కారాలు పెట్టినట్టు కాదు. వాట్ యు సే సాష్టాంగ నమస్కారాలు పెట్టడానికి ఇంగ్లీష్ లో ఏమంటారంటే the way of position, laying down on the abdomen down and the backbone up.